Выражение мнения, как формулировать и представлять свои взгляды.
A valid point.
Веский аргумент.
A valid point.
A valid point.
A valid point.
I assume that.
Я предполагаю, что.
I assume that.
I assume that.
I assume that.
To be frank.
Если быть откровенным.
To be frank.
To be frank.
To be frank.
My initial thought.
Моя первоначальная мысль.
My initial thought.
My initial thought.
My initial thought.
I maintain my position.
Я отстаиваю свою позицию.
I maintain my position.
I maintain my position.
I maintain my position.
It seems plausible.
Это кажется правдоподобным.
It seems plausible.
It seems plausible.
It seems plausible.
A personal viewpoint.
Личная точка зрения.
A personal viewpoint.
A personal viewpoint.
A personal viewpoint.
I advocate for change.
Я выступаю за перемены.
I advocate for change.
I advocate for change.
I advocate for change.
A controversial opinion.
Спорное мнение.
A controversial opinion.
A controversial opinion.
A controversial opinion.
It's debatable.
Это спорно.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
Аргументация и доказательства. Слова для подкрепления своей позиции.
The evidence suggests.
Данные свидетельствуют.
The evidence suggests.
The evidence suggests.
The evidence suggests.
A key factor.
Ключевой фактор.
A key factor.
A key factor.
A key factor.
To illustrate this point.
Чтобы проиллюстрировать этот момент.
To illustrate this point.
To illustrate this point.
To illustrate this point.
A compelling reason.
Убедительная причина.
A compelling reason.
A compelling reason.
A compelling reason.
Based on facts.
Основана на фактах.
Based on facts.
Based on facts.
Based on facts.
To prove a theory.
Доказать теорию.
To prove a theory.
To prove a theory.
To prove a theory.
Therefore, I conclude.
Следовательно, я заключаю.
Therefore, I conclude.
Therefore, I conclude.
Therefore, I conclude.
A valid argument.
Обоснованный довод.
A valid argument.
A valid argument.
A valid argument.
A specific example.
Конкретный пример.
A specific example.
A specific example.
A specific example.
In particular.
В частности.
In particular.
In particular.
In particular.
To justify a decision.
Обосновать решение.
To justify a decision.
To justify a decision.
To justify a decision.
Анализ и оценка. Лексика для критического разбора информации.
To evaluate options.
Оценивать варианты.
To evaluate options.
To evaluate options.
To evaluate options.
A critical assessment.
Критическая оценка.
A critical assessment.
A critical assessment.
A critical assessment.
A thorough analysis.
Тщательный анализ.
A thorough analysis.
A thorough analysis.
A thorough analysis.
The main drawback.
Основной недостаток.
The main drawback.
The main drawback.
The main drawback.
A significant advantage.
Значительное преимущество.
A significant advantage.
A significant advantage.
A significant advantage.
To scrutinize the details.
Тщательно изучить детали.
To scrutinize the details.
To scrutinize the details.
To scrutinize the details.
To identify a pattern.
Выявить закономерность.
To identify a pattern.
To identify a pattern.
To identify a pattern.
An objective evaluation.
Объективная оценка.
An objective evaluation.
An objective evaluation.
An objective evaluation.
A subjective opinion.
Субъективное мнение.
A subjective opinion.
A subjective opinion.
A subjective opinion.
To interpret the data.
Интерпретировать данные.
To interpret the data.
To interpret the data.
To interpret the data.
A flaw in the logic.
Изъян в логике.
A flaw in the logic.
A flaw in the logic.
A flaw in the logic.
Сравнение и противопоставление. Фразы для выявления сходств и различий.
On the contrary.
Наоборот.
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
Similarly, we can see.
Аналогично, мы видим.
Similarly, we can see.
Similarly, we can see.
Similarly, we can see.
In contrast to that.
В противоположность этому.
In contrast to that.
In contrast to that.
In contrast to that.
A key distinction.
Ключевое различие.
A key distinction.
A key distinction.
A key distinction.
Unlike the first option.
В отличие от первого варианта.
Unlike the first option.
Unlike the first option.
Unlike the first option.
Likewise, the result is.
Подобным образом, результат.
Likewise, the result is.
Likewise, the result is.
Likewise, the result is.
A striking similarity.
Поразительное сходство.
A striking similarity.
A striking similarity.
A striking similarity.
Whereas this is true.
В то время как это правда.
Whereas this is true.
Whereas this is true.
Whereas this is true.
To draw a parallel.
Провести параллель.
To draw a parallel.
To draw a parallel.
To draw a parallel.
Причина и следствие. Как связывать события и их результаты.
As a consequence.
В результате.
As a consequence.
As a consequence.
As a consequence.
This leads to.
Это приводит.
This leads to.
This leads to.
This leads to.
The primary cause.
Основная причина.
The primary cause.
The primary cause.
The primary cause.
A direct outcome.
Прямой результат.
A direct outcome.
A direct outcome.
A direct outcome.
Due to this fact.
Из-за этого факта.
Due to this fact.
Due to this fact.
Due to this fact.
It results in failure.
Это приводит к неудаче.
It results in failure.
It results in failure.
It results in failure.
An inevitable effect.
Неизбежный эффект.
An inevitable effect.
An inevitable effect.
An inevitable effect.
To trigger an alarm.
Вызвать тревогу.
To trigger an alarm.
To trigger an alarm.
To trigger an alarm.
A chain reaction.
Цепная реакция.
A chain reaction.
A chain reaction.
A chain reaction.
The root of the problem.
Корень проблемы.
The root of the problem.
The root of the problem.
The root of the problem.
Вероятность и предположение. Слова для обсуждения возможностей.
It is highly likely.
Это весьма вероятно.
It is highly likely.
It is highly likely.
It is highly likely.
It is unlikely to happen.
Это маловероятно.
It is unlikely to happen.
It is unlikely to happen.
It is unlikely to happen.
A reasonable assumption.
Разумное предположение.
A reasonable assumption.
A reasonable assumption.
A reasonable assumption.
I presume you know.
Я полагаю, вы знаете.
I presume you know.
I presume you know.
I presume you know.
Presumably, he is late.
Предположительно, он опоздал.
Presumably he is late.
Presumably, he is late.
Presumably, he is late.
There is a possibility.
Есть вероятность.
There is a possibility.
There is a possibility.
There is a possibility.
It's conceivable.
Это мыслимо.
It's conceivable.
It's conceivable.
It's conceivable.
To speculate about future.
Размышлять о будущем.
To speculate about future.
To speculate about future.
To speculate about future.
An educated guess.
Обоснованное предположение.
An educated guess.
An educated guess.
An educated guess.
It seems inevitable.
Это кажется неизбежным.
It seems inevitable.
It seems inevitable.
It seems inevitable.
Согласие и несогласие – нюансы для выражения своей позиции в споре.
I concur with you.
Я согласен с вами.
I concur with you.
I concur with you.
I concur with you.
I beg to differ.
Позволю себе не согласиться.
I beg to differ.
I beg to differ.
I beg to differ.
I object to this idea.
Я возражаю против этой идеи.
I object to this idea.
I object to this idea.
I object to this idea.
I have some reservations.
У меня есть сомнения.
I have some reservations.
I have some reservations.
I have some reservations.
You are absolutely right.
Вы абсолютно правы.
You are absolutely right.
You are absolutely right.
You are absolutely right.
I must dispute that claim.
Я должен оспорить это утверждение.
I must dispute that claim.
I must dispute that claim.
I must dispute that claim.
A point of contention.
Предмет спора.
A point of contention.
A point of contention.
A point of contention.
I support this notion.
Я поддерживаю это мнение.
I support this notion.
I support this notion.
I support this notion.
That's not always the case.
Это не всегда тот случай.
That's not always the case.
That's not always the case.
That's not always the case.
Undoubtedly, this is true.
Несомненно, это правда.
Undoubtedly, this is true.
Undoubtedly, this is true.
Undoubtedly, this is true.
Решение проблем. Термины для обсуждения вызовов и их преодоления.
A potential solution.
Потенциальное решение.
A potential solution.
A potential solution.
A potential solution.
To find a workaround.
Найти обходный путь.
To find a workaround.
To find a workaround.
To find a workaround.
A major obstacle.
Серьезное препятствие.
A major obstacle.
A major obstacle.
A major obstacle.
To overcome a challenge.
Преодолеть трудность.
To overcome a challenge.
To overcome a challenge.
To overcome a challenge.
A practical approach.
Практичный подход.
A practical approach.
A practical approach.
A practical approach.
Let's troubleshoot it.
Давай устраним неполадку.
Let's troubleshoot it.
Let's troubleshoot it.
Let's troubleshoot it.
An alternative strategy.
Альтернативная стратегия.
An alternative strategy.
An alternative strategy.
An alternative strategy.
To implement a plan.
Реализовать план.
To implement a plan.
To implement a plan.
To implement a plan.
To mitigate the risk.
Смягчить риск.
To mitigate the risk.
To mitigate the risk.
To mitigate the risk.
A viable option.
Жизнеспособный вариант.
A viable option.
A viable option.
A viable option.
A long-term fix.
Долгосрочное решение.
A long-term fix.
A long-term fix.
A long-term fix.